Okay, for today's assignment, what we're gonna be needing is a pencil, a brush. It doesn't have to be a brush like this. It could just be a regular brush, hair brush. It could also, you're also gonna need some gold paint, some glue, and a ruler, and of course, your paper. Okay. So for starters, what you're gonna do is you're gonna need to trace your hand. If your hand is too small, because if you notice my hand, it's close to 7.5, almost 8 inches. Okay, so if your hand is too small, what you can do is ask mommy or daddy to go and lend you their hand, and you're going to basically trace it. Okay, so I have one right here which has already been traced. All right, there's my hand. So basically after that, what I'm going to ask you to do is we're going to accentuate. You see the curves in this? Okay, so we're gonna go and we're gonna, like, almost like if we were wrapping it on some sort of a masking tape. Okay, there. So let's go ahead. Let's do that with all the fingers first. All right, and what this is going to start doing is creating a shape out of your hand that is going to start looking like if it was 3D. All right. All right. So they're basically like really like wide U shapes. Okay. So there, right there, we're almost taking care of all the fingers. Nothing hard, right? Just like really extra open U shapes. And here, the same thing. You see, there's an open U shape, open U shape. Okay, so now you're like, what are we gonna do here? Notice how it goes boom, 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 boom. Okay, so we're gonna open up a little bit more. It's almost gonna look like a big fan, right? Here. Now the next one. Nothing hard, right? Until we get to this area, on which is just going to be again like how we did with our fingers. And there, you're done with that part. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your ruler. You notice little lesson right here on inches. Starts at the 0, and it goes to the 1. But in between the 0 and the 1, you have a big line. That's half an inch. So 2 half inches make 1 inch. Okay? So after the 1, another half an inch. So you have half an inch, you create another inch. Okay? So basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna put this on the side of your paper. And you're going to start marking every half an inch. All right? It's just a little mark. You notice it goes by quickly. Make sure your ruler doesn't move. And you're gonna do the same thing on the other side, of course, starting with 1. Okay, I'm just gonna put it right here at the edge of the paper so that I know that it's 100% straight. Right? Every half an inch, you do 1 line. All right, nothing hard, right? And there, you got to the last one. Okay, so you have markings on both ends, and now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your ruler and you're just gonna line this line with this line. Okay, those are your guides, and basically you're just gonna do one line. When you get to the hand, you stop, you skip, and then you go to your other side. All right, there we go. Go to the other side. Always remember to skip your hand. We don't want to do the straight lines on top of the hand, because remember, the hand already has its lines which go round, okay? Because your hand is not a flat object. It's a body that it's full of contours. Contours, it's another word for something that is round, sort of like a bottle, okay? It's round. It's got it's more than just one flat surface. Okay, so here I am creating my lines, and this is going to be what's going to help me define my background from my foreground. And if, in case you're asking, what is in the foreground? In the foreground is what's in the front. Okay, so now notice right here, I went to the finger, I skipped, I went to the space, came back here. Okay, that's exactly what I want you to do. And we do the rest here again. Just in case you miss one of them, you can always go back after you're done with your drawing and check and make sure that you didn't miss in between the fingers. All right, very important. And the reason why I asked you, you know, that if your hand is too small to go ahead and use either mom or dad's hand is because if your hand is too small, it's basically not going to occupy even half of the paper. And then what happens is, if that were the case, most of it is just going to be lines here on top, rather than, you know, having the shape of something being the main object occupying the surface of the paper. All right. So this might take a little time, but if you notice, I'm almost done. And after you're done with these lines, you are ready to do the fun parts. Okay, on the top is just straight lines. Nothing to it, right? I know you guys can do it, because you guys are awesome, very artistic. All right, so there. Everything is done. Now, this is the moment in which you're gonna pick up your glue. You're gonna open it up a little bit, and these lines become your guides. And what you're gonna do is you're going to trace them. Since you have a lot of space in between each one of them, there's no reason why these lines should be touching each other, even if you are doing the lines thick, okay, because you have enough space in between. And if you notice, I am just rolling it. I just put it down, follow my line, I pick up and go. If you need to stop, you just do the same thing again. Okay, so here we go. There we go. All right. It's just straight lines, nothing hard, okay? Always address everything that you do with the same mentality. It's not hard. I can do this, okay? And then you'll see that if you believe in yourself, you're going to be able to do a lot of wonderful things, not just in my class, but throughout your time, throughout your life. All right, so now basically I have done everything that's on top. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna try to do the hand. All right, let me try to close it here. And if you notice, or it's already starting to look like if it was 3D. All right. Nothing hard, just following the lines. See how it just glides, does it on its own. You're just tracing. Okay, because remember, you already did the hard part. The hard part was doing the drawing. Okay, now you're just gonna go and do your fingers. All right. Take your time with this part, okay? And do not use a lot of ink, a lot of glue, because you don't want to end up with puddles that in the end, when you finish your project, it's just going to look like puddles of glue, okay? Just take your time, be patient, be positive, believe in yourselves. Art is supposed to be relaxing, remember that. And I'm going to take this moment to remind you that we are doing an exercise which is teaching us about line, which is the first element of art. And once you are done with this project and it has dried up completely, you are going to be able to pass your hand on top of this and you are going to feel some texture, okay? Texture is another one of the elements of art that we are going to be learning about as well, okay? All right, so let's continue on this side. If you notice, I flipped the paper around. If you have to do that, go ahead and do so. Whatever works for you best, that's what you're gonna be doing. Notice how I'm not dragging the tip of the glue on the paper. I basically do it up in the air and it just falls by itself, okay? If you can go ahead and do it like that, or if not, then if you feel more confident dragging it on top of the paper, that's okay too. Like I say, whichever works best for you, that's great. Okay. So I'm gonna close this edge of the hand, and I'm gonna finish off this side of my paper. Okay, so we're almost done here. Here, now just a couple more lines, and we'll be done with this part. After you are done with this part, what you're going to do is you're going to take your brush and you're going to apply gold paper, gold paint on top of the paper. Okay, but before you do that, you need to let it sit and dry at least 24 hours. All right, you're going to see that the glue, right now the glue looks white. When the glue is dry, the glue is going to look transparent. Okay, it's going to look transparent, and you might touch it and you might not feel it very much, but it's still there. Okay, you're gonna let it sit there. Another thing I'm gonna say is, when you do this, do it on construction paper. Okay, the reason why I say that is because the other type of paper might become too crinkly. Okay, so you're gonna end up with something that it's not completely flat. It's just gonna be crinkly, and you don't want that on your work. Okay, so then, like I said, if this was dry, I would just go ahead, get myself some gold paint, and I would just basically spread it, color the whole piece of paper. Okay, and then when you would be done with it, you would just take it and let it air dry for another 20 to 30 minutes, and it's just going to look like this. Okay, if you notice, the hand shape is there and it looks 3D. Okay, if I touch it, I will be able to feel it. Okay, and you know, it's a little fun project. Like I said, teaches us about lines, which is one of the elements of art. And also we have a texturized the paper, which is also another of the elements of art, which we have been able to talk about during this past few weeks. Okay, so enjoy your activity, enjoy doing it, and have fun with it. And I just can't wait to see how the end results come out. Okay, thank you very much, boys and girls. Have a wonderful day.